Hello, it's May favourites time. It has felt like a really long month. I think I said that about March and then April flew by, but May itself hasn't felt like such a long month, but me wanting to do these favourites has felt like it's been forever. So I'm gonna start with books. I have 3, look at that. The Great Gatsby, Poetry of Trees, and Then There Were None. All 3 of those I will speak about in July in book challenge videos, so I'm not gonna go in depth about them here. Okay, then we've got 5.5 movies, and the reason why I say half, I'll go to that first. Actually, that's from June, but it's in there now. And it's because I haven't actually seen the movie, I've only read the script, but it's a movie called The Accused, and it is incredibly, I can't think of the word, like really in your face, with very dark themes, and it feels very important and very powerful. Again, I've only read the script, I haven't seen the thing, but it is definitely something I want to watch, but I also think it's going to be a very hard movie to watch, from what I've read at least. The other 5 are a bit more positive. We've got Lion, which was so sad and so beautiful. Then Love, Wedding, Repeat. I think I've mentioned this in one of my videos, and if I haven't yet, I will in one of my future videos. This is a movie that just is everything. It's just my brain, really, both in the best and the worst possible ways. There were parts to it I didn't like as much, but the overall concept of it is just maddening to me. Number 3, Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again. I just love that movie, and again, I think at some point in June I've made a whole video about how I feel about it, and I've also made a video of it in the past, which I will link either up in this corner or in that one. But it's just such a fun, light-hearted film. Number 4, The New Aladdin. This is the first time I've seen it since the first time I saw it, and it was just so good. It's just so colourful, and again, just light-hearted, fun, good. And lastly, a movie called 21, which is about sort of a casino heist, and I loved it. It was a bit along the lines of Now You See Me. Not exactly, but a little bit, and I just really like that style. Not quite magic, but it's I don't know, it felt like a similar theme to me at least, and I really enjoyed it. That brings us on to 2 TV shows. Number 1, Money Heist. I don't know if I mentioned this last month. We've been watching it as a family, and I remember when I was in America last year with my brother, he was trying to get me to watch it, and I was like, no, it looks so uninteresting, and I just can't be bothered. Anyway, now I'm absolutely obsessed with it. I love it. And the other day we finished season 2, and it was the most satisfying ending. Everything about it was so good. But I'm not going to spoil anything, so I'm not going to say anything about it, but I do recommend it. Although it is in Spanish, but we watched it with subtitles because we don't speak Spanish. Also, one of the characters is called Raquel. Hello, everyone. That's me. And the second one, which I've definitely mentioned before, is Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Just such a great show. Again, we've been watching it as a family when we want something a bit shorter and more lighthearted. Now I have 2 plays. Number 1, 5 Kinds of Silence. This play, I don't know if I mentioned it last month, but it's again one of those plays a bit like The Accused, which is just very intense and in your face, but also so clever. And then Amsterdam, which I kind of liked. And it wasn't the most appealing piece of theatre, I would say, but I liked the idea of it, the concept. I don't know. I was very iffy about it, but I do think I liked it. And again, especially the ending was strong. Now I have a whole bunch of musicals. Merrily We Roll Along-ish. I've written. Because I did like some of it, but I didn't like all of it, and it felt very slow, and I just thought they could have done a bit more with it. By Jeeves. Again, I've said ish, just because it's again not the strongest show, but it was still enjoyable. Kinky Boots, love it. Cats, which I thought I was not going to like, because I've seen it once before, many years ago on DVD, and I didn't like it at the time. I liked the dancing, but I just didn't like the general idea of it. But now I've rewatched it, and I rewatched it because I knew I might change my mind. And it's just a really nice piece of work, and I definitely enjoyed watching it. Number 5, Black Friday. This is a Star Kid musical that I probably have mentioned before, but I listen to it practically every night because it helps me fall asleep. Number 6, again, I think I'm cheating with this because I actually finished watching it on the 1st of June, but Memphis, which I really thought I wasn't gonna like, but I really enjoy. Although I really don't like the Southern American drawl, and the lead obviously has to speak in that accent, but it just really annoyed me, and I didn't enjoy watching him as a character, but the overall of it I loved. Number 7, this is again a bit of an iffy one, which was The Sound of Music Live. It just feels like it was unnecessary, and it's really hard to beat Julie Andrews, and it just didn't work for me, but I did still enjoy it, so I don't know, I'm torn. Then we've got Hairspray Live, which again I was very, very iffy about, because as I've mentioned before on this channel, Hairspray is not necessarily my favourite musical, but I did enjoy it more this time than the only other time I've watched it, so I guess that's a bonus. It's still not my favourite, but I did somewhat enjoy it. Are we on 9 or 10? I don't know. The last one, the Les Miserables All-Star staged concert. I don't know if I mentioned this last month. I don't think so, I wouldn't have. But I've definitely spoken about it. I mean, what a brilliant piece of work. I think I do have a whole video on it as part of my May Merriment, so again, it'll go in one of these two corners. And that brings us on to music. Number one is something I forgot to mention back in March, I think, and it is Epiphany from Sweeney Todd. I have a friend who performed this song, and it's such a hard song, and they did such a brilliant job of it, and that's just made me like it even more. Which I guess leads us on to the next thing, which was the Sondheim celebration. Every single clip in that video was fantastic. Then we've got the musical cast recording of First Date, which I don't love, but I certainly don't hate. And there were definitely some numbers I liked. And the last two are Speechless from the new Aladdin and Promise Me This from The Theory of Everything, I think it's called, but it's the musical, and I've been listening to it a lot. I lied, I've got one more thing to say, which is just a different category altogether. I watched Starkid read, well, I half watched Starkid read The Addams Family Values, and it was just funny. Now for my song of the month. I've got 3 different options here, but I'm actually gonna go with Promise Me This, which I mentioned not too long ago, because I've just been listening to it so much this month. It's just a really good song. Okay, bye!